Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namasami. So I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. So last week was the holiday season for most people living in Western countries. And then coming up in a few days will be the New Year's. So in most Western countries and or even most countries around the world, which follow the standard calendar we use. This is in a few days will be New Year's. January 1st is the beginning of the new year. In different countries and different cultures, they'll have their New Year celebrations at different times. The Chinese Lunar New Year I believe it's January or February. In Southeast Asia, the Thai and Lao New Year's is in April, at the hottest time of the year. So there's no real set what is actually New Year's. These are all just conventions, but they're conventions, we can use and we can get some benefit out of them and really use these as a way to help us in our lives and in our practices. So a number of years ago during the pandemic, I was living in Thailand in a little hermitage in Pak Chong. And and while I was there, I was getting some physiotherapy. And the physiotherapist just lived, a few kilometers up the road, and he was very good, and he was this really nice guy, and he, was really into Dhamma practice and stuff, and he was very into like green and organic stuff. The entire clinic was made out of bamboo, and so it was it was a really really cool place. And one of the things he did, which was very nice, because he was so into Dhamma practice and he was so into monks and into making merit, was he would treat monastics for free. So all the monks he would treat for free. And not just the monks who are staying at the hermitages, just basically all monks he'd treat for free. So not too far away from um, where I was staying there's actually a branch monastery of Plum Village of Thich Nhat Hanh. So sometimes when I was in the physio therapist in the waiting room, I'd see monks and nuns from this Thich Nhat Hanh monastery there. And I guess one of them had given the doctor at this clinic a calendar, and they hung it on the wall, and it had this big saying on it. If anyone has ever seen the way Plum Village, they do these things. It's they paint these little sayings, these little Dhamma phrases, and it has a very distinctive style to it. Right away you see it, okay, this is Thich Nhat Hanh, or this is Plum Village, and very nice style. And on it it had this little saying. It said, "New year, new me." And I really loved this little saying, because when we come to a period like this of new year, of a fresh start, um times like this, it can really help us in um setting up our like determinations, these adhitthānas, to try to raise our practice up a bit, or for this determination to start new habits, or new ways of doing things, or increase our practice for a period of time. So traditionally, in a lot of Theravada Buddhist countries, we'd it would be the beginning of the rains retreat. So this is usually when we'd make these determinations, and it'd be to keep for the period of the 3 months of the rains retreat. Whereas in the West, there's always the idea of making these New Year's resolutions, and so everyone comes up with a bunch of resolutions, and usually it's to get in shape or to live a healthier life, or something like that. But one of the nice things about how when we do it during the rains retreat is it's for a set period. So it has this, 3 months, and we can really, it has a beginning date and an end date so that we can really make sure that we keep our determination. Whereas, a lot of times when we just take New Year's as, the beginning and it's okay, I'm going to get in shape or I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, it's very open-ended. So what inevitably happens is most people end up not keeping these determinations or they only keep them for a period of time. So when I was a layman, I was really into fitness and one of the things you'd notice on TV at that time was in January and February, the TV would be full of programs about weight loss and fitness and getting in shape. And by mid-March, they had all ended because most people who had made those New Year's resolutions to get into shape and to do this, had given up by that point or, had lost interest in it. So it's really important when we make a determination to really try to keep it. So the word for this, like a resolution or determination in Pali is we'd call an adhitthana. So these adhitthanas, this is where you make this determination that I am going to do this and then follow through on it. So this is what's called a parami, or these, they're translated as perfections. But I really like the to translate them as like spiritual qualities or like these like character traits. And these are things we can develop over time. It's not we either have them or we don't have them, but we can develop them and strengthen them over time. So with this thing like an adhitthana or this determination or resolution, parami, this character, you can really see some people who have it just they've developed it in the past or they've really worked on it. And and it's just they've already got that quality. So you see in life these people who they just set their mind to something and they do it. They don't get distracted. They do it and they follow through on it. And then you can see some people who it's not so developed that this quality isn't so strong in them. So, they'll make a determination and they won't follow through. They sometimes they don't even really start it. They'll really say like, okay, I'm gonna give up coffee for this week, or I'm gonna give up coffee for this month. And then later on in the day, you see them drinking a cup of coffee, so again, we all have different these barmies develop to different strengths, but it's not set in stone. We can strengthen these barmies and we can weaken them too. So for the determination, the Adhitthana Pāramī, the more we make these Adhitthanas, these determinations, and we keep them, the stronger this quality becomes. So it just becomes this ingrained character trait of us that when we really do set this firm determination to do something, we just don't break it. And so, but it can go the other way too. If every time we make a determination, we don't keep them, that quality weakens. So just, when we say something, we're going to do something, deep down, it doesn't really have any meaning to us. So we want to have this very strong. We want to really work on this, develop this. And so the way to do that is to make determinations and to really keep and follow through on the determinations we make. So it's important when we're making these determinations or we're making like New Year's resolutions, to do something that isn't too far beyond our abilities. So, if you say, practicing as a layperson, say you meditate maybe half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, or however much it is, you don't want to make the determination then, oh, I'm going to meditate 10 hours every day, because it's just so far out of what you've done before. You want to do something that, that you can do that is doable and that, but maybe pushes yourself a little bit. And so you really want to, follow through and keep these determinations. And so at a time like this, where it is the New Year's, it is a time of new beginnings. This can have um, a bit of significance to us. It has a bit of symbolism that we can use this as an opportunity to to make resolutions and to really make these determinations, these adhitthānas, and really try to follow through on them. So one of the things that's very helpful when we do these adhitthānas is to really make it firm in our mind. Okay, I'm going to do this. And sometimes, you can find little skillful means to help with this. So sometimes writing them down can be very helpful. So when I spent the Rains retreat at Wat Mopjon about 14, 15 years ago, one of the things Ajahn Nando, the abbot there, did was he had some monks make this big board, like this big cardboard poster, and had all the names of all the monks on it, and all of the determinations that the monks were making for the Rains retreat, that at least the ones they wanted everyone to know about, were written on this board and put in the eating hall, so all the other monks could see it. So again, it wasn't to try to shame you into not breaking it, but it's just, letting people know about it. Having that can help you, follow through, and can help, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to embarrass myself by by not keeping it, or everyone knows, and there's this kind of like group energy to it. And this everyone's working together, everyone's working on developing these things. And so, you can find little skillful ways like that just to remember these determinations, and to help you stay with it. Another way to build up this Pāramī, this character trait, this spiritual quality of making determinations, is to make them often, and they don't have to be, really big, grand ones like, anything really big and life-changing. So Ajahn Isra, who is the abbot of the branch monastery of Lumpur Biak, he used to talk about that whenever you sit meditation, make a determination. It doesn't have to be super long. Like if, say, normally you only sit for 45 minutes, then just make the determination. Okay, once you get comfortable and stuff, okay, I'm making the determination. I'm not going to get up until, this 45 minutes is up. And then, the more you do that, you're just your mind is becoming more conditioned. You're building up this quality. And one of the things you do notice sometimes is once you've made that determination, sometimes all of a sudden things start kind of disturbing you, things start making you want to get up. So you do have to kind of push a little bit more. But Lumpur Biak, when I was living there, he was training me to do longer and longer sits. So I'd have to uh, make these adhitthānas when I'd sit for that. I'd have to sit for this certain period of time, a couple times a day without moving. And he said the one exception was if you have diarrhea. He said if you've got diarrhea, you can get up and go. Don't worry about that. That's an exception. And yeah, obviously, if something like, the house catches on fire, or, something big happens, like a cobra starts coming towards you, it's okay to get up and move. But again, you do want to work on building up this quality. But it's also good to remember with some of these things. So with, say, this saying that was on this calendar from Plum Village, like this new year, new me, it's also good to remember that it's not necessarily we're going to change all at once. So sometimes, we hear something like that, or we want to make a determination like that, and we feel that, once we make these determinations, that will all of a sudden change. So if it's like, okay, on New Year's, I'm going to make these determinations to resolutions to do this and this and this, and we will feel that maybe instantly we're going to change. But what it is we're making these determinations to put forth effort to change ourselves. So, the changes will take time, but it's more we're determining to put forth that effort to really do the work ourselves, to change ourselves and improve ourselves. So it's very similar to like if with exercise, if someone wants to get in shape, say the typical New Year's resolution, I want to lose weight this year and get healthy and go to the gym. It's not that once you make that determination, all of a sudden you'll be, thin and healthy and 20 years younger than you were before that. But what it is you make that resolution, and it's okay, now I'm going to put forth the effort to start changing that, and make the determinations to start changing myself and improving myself. Because again, one of the things that, is one of the like founding principles of uh, Buddhist practice and the practice of Dhamma is that no one else can do the work for us. No one else can just, magically make us enlightened. No one else can just, remove our suffering for us. People can help us along the way. People can point the way. But at the end of the day, this is something that we have to put in the effort ourselves, and we can change ourselves. And so and so coming up to this time, coming up to this New Year's, I would encourage everyone if they uh, feel so inclined that, can work on making some resolutions for the new year. But again, I would encourage, if you're doing that, to maybe do something with like a time frame on it. So instead of just saying, I'm going to meditate every day from now on, maybe say, okay, for the next 3 months, this is how I'm going to practice, or I'll do this and this for the next 3 months. And then in 3 months, you can look back and be like, okay, yeah, I did a good job. And you do get that like, feeling of achievement, okay, I did it. And so that can reinforce and encourage you to do it more. And then, say after 3 months, you can say, oh, actually, I want to make another set of these determinations. So I would like to offer that to everyone as a bit of a reflection for this evening for the new year.